Bottom left-hand side, it is going to be our red Protoss player from Exxon. This is Gerald. He's very positive about having a chance to 2-0 Serral here. As we start on Ice and Chrome. In the top right side, our Blue Zerg Serral from NC Sports, of course. I do wonder what he opens here after seeing him open with that fast lair against Goblin on this map. Does he do like the same build and kind of say, you know, like, can I, you know, what can I do with that? Can I get across here? Can I fight this third base or something? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of, yeah, I kind of, wonder if he's going to try and go for that kind of aggressive, like, Hydra play again. And to see how it matches up against something else. Because I'd be very surprised if we saw Gerald playing a non, yeah, I'd be very surprised if Gerald played a 3 Stargates opening. I mean, maybe he does to throw Serral off or something, but, you know, to be, like, different and to be out there, something like that, but, that's not really the typical go-to kind of style, you know? As we do have the hatchery building on the natural, gas in the pool getting up and running. And this gateway about to finish up from Gerald here, Nexus onto the natural. And get this underway. So yeah, really interested to see what Gerald feels like he has to do to try and make something happen with all of this. Obviously, right now we're looking at the possibility of going into like a Clem Serral finals, which would be very exciting. I think everyone can appreciate how exciting that would be. As we do just have well, a pylon going down and Cybercore coming up as well. Nexus on the third base, on the natural, sorry. I need to get my head in the game. For some reason, I'm just being a little bit derpy right now. I'm saying things that aren't true. I'm saying the wrong bases and all sorts. So Stargate coming down. This is the quarterfinals. So yeah, whenever this plays mana in the semis, then we move through to the finals after that. And yeah, we're just going to be seeing the Stargate coming in, followed by a Warp Gate from Gerald on the natural. A couple of Queens coming up from Serral, the Zergling Speed on the main as well. Third hatchery on that bottom right-hand side. So continue to set up for that right now. And yeah, the Stargate coming through. Warp Gate is continuing along, and just going to be seeing the Adept Chrono boosting out. Just Adept already shading through here from Gerald toward that upper right corner, so away it goes. Already on a bit of a journey with the link speed coming in on that spawning pool as previously mentioned. And just a couple of extra queens in the production tab. Oracle from Gerald on the way out is going to go to the top right corner. And proxied up on the top side of the map, Oracle's going to find no spore crawlers here in time. Not just yet. So this Oracle has potential. And right now, this Queen's moving out of position. Turns back around, though. Seems like whatever that was is fixed nice and quickly. A couple of the Queens out the front. But yeah, this one's going to fly straight into the main. And one Queen just doesn't turn around an Oracle very quickly. So Gerald's going to get some early drone kills. Instantly pulls the drones to get them toward the other Queens on the low ground. Smart decision. Gets 4 workers. Oh, I like the decision to come back in here. There's still only one Queen really in range. So he gets 6 kills. And the Oracle will just recall back home. Like that a lot, Gerald. Gonna find some good damage onto Serral in the early stages of the game. There's a few Lings running around the top side. Lings up to the top, gonna find this Stargate as another Oracle has popped out and just gonna be coming through the middle of the map. Nice to deny that pylon to the Stargate isn't up anymore. Double Oracle will not find much on the right side. Into a Twilight Council pretty quick on the follow-up here, Geralt. I do kind of wonder what he wants to do with this. Glaives obviously comes to mind right away. You can play Stargate into like just a Templar Archives as well, but then where's the Robo facility, you know? So yeah, I'd imagine this is going to be Glaives based on no Robo. Takes the third base. Rotoron's on the way from Serral here. He's got back up in the drone count. The Rotoron comes in. He can make some roaches if necessary. They're not needed right away after you open Stargate. They will probably be necessary in a minute or so when this Glaives hits, and there's potential for Adepts with Glaives to show up on the other side of the map. Oracle gets up there, cleans out a Zergling. The two Adepts moving around the upper left-hand side, and just still seeing the lair building in the main. So the Oracle comes around, gets the Ling picked off. Just going to see this other Zergling trying to have a look to see what's going on in the third base here. Well, Forge from Gerald in the main. Continuing up as well as the two Adepts do find a Zergling in the front already. And all of these other Adepts joining up together. Gonna go on a journey out onto the map. Away they go. Up to the top right side. So away to the top right we start. A couple of robo facilities already dropping down on the left. So again, double robo setup now. Revelation goes down. A couple of these crew tumors picked off pretty much immediately. Those Adepts just going to be backing away. Roaches and Queens still setting up. The Spine Crawler about to finish up from Serral in the main. And Nest actually comes down instead. I don't know why. Yeah, the Spine in the main is actually kind of nice against Adepts if they do start getting in and stuff, because they do... The Spine in the main, it takes priority over drones. So then you have to target fire with the Adepts. So that means it's hard to actually target fire multiple drones down at once. Whereas, you know, if there's no Spine there, you just kind of let the Adepts auto-attack, and they're going to hit different drones and get multiple kills every time. So maybe that was the intention there. Maybe it was just a misclick, and now you actually wanted the Baneling Nest from the start. And I'm always hesitant to say that Serral misclicked, right? I always want to believe there was a reason behind what he was doing. So that's my best guess. That shade is questionable from Gerald. Straight up into the middle of the map, straight into the Roaches. And they are just going to show up to push those Adepts away. So Adepts get pushed back immediately. As some other Adepts go into the main, the Lings are going to come straight through to chase those down, and they're going to catch them nice and quickly. A bunch of these Adepts falling. 15 drones killed, though. In the end, Gerald got the damage done. He found the way to deal the damage in the end. I think these Oracles got a few more kills as well. As you do see, 11 drones in production. Prism about to pop. Immortal coming up as well. Robo Bay is already coming through as the next step from Gerald. He's been playing a lot of Colossi in PvZ lately, so I'm expecting him to go Colossi here again. Healing's moving back around, trying to see where they want to go to. No cancel on the fourth base, just gets a kill. I mean, that's obviously expensive. Gerald doesn't have too much here, just a group of Blink Stalkers and an Immortal. Yeah, Bane speed finishing up. We've not seen kind of Ling Bane Ravager be as much of a thing lately, because we have been focused so much so on Lurker styles and ZvP. They really took off with the recent Baneling nerf, but yeah, Geralt is up against kind of some Banelings this time around. There's not on the map just yet, but there will be soon. There's the first 12 already morphing in. Off and away to the top left corner, so they're actually going to start running by into mineral lines pretty early here. I mean, we're actually only 40 seconds away from having +2 melee and one-shotting probes, so it is going to be a dangerous time, but that's a wall-off, so Geralt's actually not in too much danger from the left. You'll see the Roach Ravager coming through to pick away at some of these Stalkers, so the Stalkers know that that's there and they can get some damage, and actually the double Oracle will show up, and that's going to be some free Ravager kills. Oracle's full of energy, he needs to dive, needs to go. Yeah, I mean, opportunity's obviously passed now. If he'd gone straight away, he would have gotten a Ravager, at the very least. He would have probably gotten 2. You could argue even 3, but he didn't go right away. And just the little things, Geralt missing on slight opportunities. His Banes actually hiding away from the Stalkers. He knows they're there as well, so he keeps the Banes back for a moment longer. And now we see Serral maxed out. Now he really wants to start putting the aggression on, especially as the Storm isn't done just yet. If you can hit and deal damage before Storm is done, that's obviously a massive play, right? That's the way to go about this right here. So that's the way we're going around this for the moment, as the Oracle's activating. Ravager's taking some serious damage. Biles dropping down. The Ling Bane Ravager dodging away. And these Lings from Serral running in on the bottom side of the map. That's going to be a cancelled gateway over there. Now, these Banes actually had to go the long way around, remember. They weren't able to go up here. The big news is now that those probes are in a little bit of a similar position, they also can't really get away from this so easily. 6 workers already killed. That will be that as the Stalkers get rid of the final ones. Only 7 probes killed with the lost mining time, obviously, to be tacked onto that. As now we've got these veins. Gonna continue through. Gonna roll into the Stalkers. The cannon goes down as well. Serral's still maxed out. He's already making his next play, which is to go into the Spire. So the Spire's on the way up here now. Ling Bane, Roach, Ravager. Continuing down the bottom left side. Colossi putting some damage out. A few Lings being picked away at. A lot more Banelings on the way up still. It's keeping that Baneling count high. Again, as the Spire comes into play, that's going to be his answer to those Colossi. Getting a few Corruptors up. The Storm in play, you've got to play this carefully as Serral. You can't just go rolling and kind of fighting in every single direction and just kind of going for this. You've got to play a bit of a slower game, I think. There's another base cancel down here, so Serral's been pretty active with the Ling still. Slowing Gerald down as much as possible whenever he can. The Bow's already in, just knocking down the gateways. Let's see a good little recall back home. Obviously, Gerald forced to reposition from this. Catches the Banes on the right side. Gerald's dealing with the multi-prong pretty well so far. You know, he's really minimizing damage. He's not letting Serral get away with too much. And yeah, he's being moved around, but I do feel like he's being moved around with a purpose. You know, at least he's still getting bases up. He's still making progress. He's just not being... He's not being moved around and losing a base here, and then being moved around there and losing a base there as well. He's dealing with the pressure, so he's not falling apart. And eventually, to me, that means he gets to a point where he should be able to take a fight. He needs a Storm right there, yeah. He needed that Storm, absolutely. To me, as he loses 23 probes as well, god damn it. I'm just talking him up, and now he's losing. Now he is falling apart. To me, he's getting to a point where he was about to be able to push. And now he's lost 24 workers. That's obviously a bit more questionable. There's a Bane run by that got in over here. He was paying attention in so many places. He was fighting Roaches up here. This fight, he actually needed that Storm. Like, if he didn't hit that Storm, that army was going to get chased down. There was a lot of expensive units in it. Even I missed the Banes that hit that base. 24 workers is so costly. Overseer just sat in the main, doing all of this, by the way. So we'll see any potential tech switch. And of course, the main tech switch you're watching for is that movement toward the Hive tech, right? And movement towards, not the Hive tech, sorry, the Fleet Beacon tech. I'm getting my races all mixed up. You know what I mean, though, like big tier 3 tech. That's what he's really looking for, to see when the Stargaze, the Fleet Beacon might be coming down. That's what you really want to know about. Until then, you can kind of, if you're on just a massive bases like this, you know, he's on the entire map, then you can really just kind of trade out with bases of your opponent and just stop them, you know, just trade out armies. Because, yeah, it's inefficient, but you're mining so much more that the inefficiency just straight up doesn't matter. A couple stasis wards go down on the bottom side of the map. We'll see some Lings going away to the corner and another Stargate building from Gerald in the main. Fire Carapace, +1 Carapace on the Evo, +2 Flyer attack on the Spire. All of this on the way up as our Lings are going to get a wraparound here, and we're going to get 2-3 Stalkers right from the start of this. The Oracle showing up, and it's going to be Storms right on top of the Lings. Oh my god, the Stasis actually kind of saves them. The funny thing is now this threat is actually extended by... This Stasis actually hurts Gerald, because now this threat is extended. In like 15 seconds, it's going to be a threat again. So you still have to worry about those Lings. And that gives Serral a bit of time to hit elsewhere while you're still worrying about this and keeping units over here instead of being able to move those units elsewhere again. I actually think more of those Lings would have died as well if they didn't get Stasis. I actually, like, Stasis are good, but I actually think that one works against Gerald, just a little bit at least. Couple of Banes don't really do much. Serral's still on the offensive. See, originally, I kind of liked what Gerald was doing, right? Because he was defending well, and it felt like he had a build-up to an attack coming in. Now it feels like he is just unable to do anything because Serral has just gotten to a point of comfort where he can just go again, and again, and again, and again, and it just never really ends. He won't get this base, but it's super low HP. We're talking about like a 300, 400 health Nexus when this is finished. That goes down in an instant when these Lings decide to attack into it. Those Lings all do run away up to the top right-hand side. 5, 6 Spine Crawlers in production. Stalker's still around the bottom. Lingbane Rav just setting up. Another 10 Banes morphing in. Plus 2 Carapace about halfway along, and just gonna be seeing the army continue to move around at the moment. So yeah, moving around a little bit. A lot of Lings down on the bottom side yet again. The problem is from Gerald, how do you gather an army together to fight? And now there's Broodlords on the map, so Serral just has so much creep as well. You can go very far forward with the Broodlords, and I know creep doesn't speed the Broodlords up, but it helps units underneath them out a lot. So I think as long as you've got creep under your Broods, you're feeling pretty safe in general. And now he's going to get Broods on this base. He's going to start breaking this side down. There's a lot of Stalkers just on their own on this right side, and they're not going to achieve anything if the army's down there. And now you've got to kind of pull to the left and maybe deal with the Broods. Well, the Stalkers are meant to be good at dealing with the Broodlords, but they're all the way in the bottom right, so you're kind of reliant on the Archons, which are a little bit slow moving. Base has no probes on it. No probes at all. Storm dropping in already. The Broods are kind of chasing down as the Stalkers and the Oracles continue to gather up. And you have these Broodlords still in the middle of the map. Neural Parasite coming up, about to finish on the Infestation Pit, and 11 new Banelings coming into action as well. It's a good storm on top of the Banes. And again, Gerald will buy himself some time while he's continuing to survive. Stalker still blinking away down to the bottom here, and finally a couple more of them getting blown up. Oh, we still got Stalkers as well, just trying to take a bit of a fight here now. As you have Broods hitting the bottom left, they're going to keep on moving in, and actually going to start getting a good few of these Archons, I think, actually. I think a lot of these are going to start going down. The Broods are taking some good trades. Finally, the Stalkers make their way in. Serral's kind of here with the Banes to kind of say, well, you know what? I can just roll into you if you come too far forward, and that's the kind of combo that Gerald's going to be afraid of. Gerald still has money, right? He's still got a huge bank to spend, as does Serral. So there's still kind of time for him to do something here. I'm a little bit worried these Broods are going to be on their own now. Pretty much, I mean, the Banes have just gone, so this is it. Broodlords are kind of fighting on their own. A few Lings going to start showing up in case the Stalkers blink in. Top left-hand side, big Zealot Warp, and is there anything to really go deal with that? I feel like Serral's actually really focusing on this bottom center side of the map now. Zealot's going to work their way through every single one of the defensive spine crawlers. Some of the Tempers popping out, and they're going to start chasing the Broodlords down. Ultra's on the way as the next step from Serral. That's his rebuild. But no answer to the Tempest just yet, so I'm a little bit worried actually about Serral's rebuild. I don't think it's that great. 20 probes died here. Gerald is still trailing heavily when it comes to economy. 30 workers down at the moment, but he has a bank to work with, so he has time before that becomes a real issue. Corruptor's on the way. He has to deal with this kind of air army to some extent. So Corruptors are the right answer for that. But he's already lost the top left base. He's going to lose this forward left base. I mean, these Broods are still on their own and just getting shot down one at a time. I mean, Serral's mining bottom right, of course, but then this base isn't really mining. So that's two of the fresher bases going down. Obviously, the very far top base still around here. A few Corruptors showing up, kind of on their own. I mean, he is actually going to force the recall, which is nice. As we're going to be seeing a few of the units left behind, so at least these Stalkers can blink to the other side. I think Gerald's just losing a little bit too much now, though. You look at the banks, and you can see Gerald's bank really being drained, and he's not getting back to maxed out. That fight just wasn't really it. I thought he was, Serral just getting a little bit overzealous, going straight in with the Corruptors, but actually it was kind of fine. There's not really a lot against the Corruptors if these Archons aren't around, and yeah, Stalkers do okay against them, but just not very quickly, and the Ultras are actually there to kind of fight it as well, and the Ultras especially, there's just not an answer for, right? I think the Immortals are kind of late to the party here. And more Stalkers would have dealt with them, but the Stalker kind of been withered down, and our probes are going down. This Colossus goes down, and now Serral's up over 100 supply and looking pretty fantastic in this first map of the best of 3. Looking to take the advantage in the series. This time it didn't take him 57 minutes on Ice and Chrome, just 20. Maybe 21, depending on when Gerald will drop the GG, but there's units streaming across the map, and there are no real units left from Gerald. I think the scariest thing he's got is the potential to warp it on the other side still, but obviously Serral's army is fast-moving and mobile to go and deal with that now if necessary, and Gerald's going to try and warp in some more Zals to try and protect over here, but Serral doesn't even care. He's just like, cool, give me the Nexus, let's kill this 5th base, let's get rid of this mining, and once more you're just stacked up behind on mining, and you don't really have another, yeah. You don't really have anywhere else to go to. You've got nothing else to really do. It's this army or die trying. I think he's going to die trying. Hey, that was a sick blink, though. Traps the Ultralisk from getting away by blinking to the other side of it. That was a really cute move. Good old Gerald. Just throwing a little bit of extra kind of like, you know, power, you know, shapow, boom, look at me, kind of into it toward the end. That was fun. Alright, when you have Tempest shots still firing up a storm. Oh, those storms are really good. They just killed all the Banes. I mean, Gerald's army is like... yeah, it's fighting. Is it fighting for good reason? No, it's kind of fighting because Serral just kind of walked into a couple of storms. I mean, as Serral gets his units from elsewhere on the map, he's going to clean this up, and then there's only a few Tempests left. Gerald played a pretty good game. I actually think Gerald played a really good game. Just Serral played to get it. Serral? Serral played a better game. He took control. It was around that time, I think. We are going to begin in the bottom left-hand side with the red Protoss player. Give it up. If you're cheering on our boy, Gerald. And hey, credit to him. He actually put up a real good fight in that last game. It was enjoyable to watch. He had me believing, you know, at points. He had me believing there was some possibilities. I feel like that's not easily done when you're playing against Serral, so yeah, credit to him. Alrighty, guys. Okay, we're going down. Serral has a 12 pool on the map, so Serral loves to put a bit of 12 pool action into play. Like, he really loves to mix this into his games. I actually... It's like a good way to play, I think, actually, overall. Like, I think it's good to mix in, because it makes sure the Protoss doesn't go too greedy all the time. You can actually play out of it much more easily than you would expect to, I think. So, as this hatchery goes down, 8lings on the way up. Obviously, Serral is going to be revealed here, as Gerald does have that probe across the map. That's very important. Hey, baby duck thought, 187. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, well, the lings are going across the map. We're kind of following this probe to see if it picked up any extra info or any lings, and let's see what these lings can do. The defense from Gerald at the moment at the front is good. It's 2 gates, and he's actually going to put another gate in the front to buy just a tiny little bit of extra time here. It really is just a little bit extra. As you see, the lings continue to fight against the wall off. I mean, this is the thing. Even if you just get a gateway kill, this is a pretty big deal. Now the Zealot's on the other side. Killing the first Zealot's kind of massive in the first place. This is already a pretty big deal, I would say, as you're going to see this next Zealot's in trouble. If this Zealot goes down, he then gets the gateway. Then I'm kind of worried as we're actually going to be seeing, oh my god, the probe actually just lets the lings in. Well, Serral obviously feels like he can do more with the ability to maybe go after that pylon. He's going to back away. He's going to keep the lings alive, which I guess you could argue is a pretty good way of playing this out as well. By, you know, by keeping the lings alive, you don't have to worry about the counterattack as much because you already have a few lings in play. So that's definitely an additional bonus here for sure. Definitely a bonus. Stargate on the way up from Gerald in the main base. So that's his follow-up. Serral's just drawn nicely behind this. The biggest thing about a 12 pool is that the third hatchery is very delayed. Obviously, your initial hatch is delayed and stuff as well, but I think the biggest factor that is very noticeable, like, you know, like 2 or 3 minutes from now, I think the most noticeable thing will have been the timing of the third base. So let's see how Serral goes about that. As Ling Speed's on the way up, of course, you will have to deal with this Stargate at some point soon. And this time, hopefully, I mean, obviously, this last time he was proxy Stargated, so this time he should be able to get his Stargate there in time. Well, Queen's out the front. Just going to be seeing the Adepts here. I mean, these are the Adepts that you keep the Lings alive for, so you don't have to worry about them as much. Don't have to make too many extra Lings. That was not a good shade. These Lings might be able to do something off creep. It's just not quite possible, is it? It's just not quite possible. I was wondering what that ding was, but thank you so much to Legelot. Actually, bought some WardiTV merch, a t-shirt and something else. Doesn't actually tell me what, so I apologize. So thanks so much for all your amazing cast, Wardy. You're making going through pandemic so much easier. Well, thank you so much for buying some WardiTV merch. That's awesome. Another quick couple of shoutouts that I actually didn't see during the last game was Kai for the 15-month resub and Bamable1 for the 13 months. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the love. Thanks for the kind words as well attached to the messages. Well, Oracle gets in for a few drones. Remember, I mean, Serral took major damage last game because of the proxied Stargate, and he recovered from that pretty aptly, so I'm not really worried or so for him right now. It's not really a massive concern or anything as the Stalker picks off an Overlord. And as Oracle's low HP, though, has to be pretty careful. You kind of got to babysit that a little bit as the Revelation will go down to properly keep it alive now. Feelings get into the corner, and Sanchi going to find themselves a pretty decent surround on them Adepts. Only Oracle showing back up. The other Oracle here, and that one that got recalled away, saved as well. No third base just yet from Gerald. He's actually going to go up to 4 Oracles, so he's going to start overwhelming Serral when it comes to air units very shortly. Serral doesn't quite get that Oracle kill, and that's a pretty big deal also. So far, kind of a little bit concerning, I think. Right? I mean, Gerald is keeping Serral in a bit of trouble. We got Blink and +1 behind us. Serral's not really gone anywhere with his tech either, right? Just a Roach Roaring? He's got a lot of gas, almost like he wants to do something with it. Still gonna kill the Yovi. That's nice. A couple Lings get in for 2 probes. That's even nicer. You get a full scout of the base, so you get to know everything that's going on all over again. Blink +1 attack coming in. Yeah, I really like those upgrades. I mean, just playing into that kind of Blink meta that we've seen so much of as of late. Oracles get pushed around the right-hand side, and yeah, we just have our +1 missiles on the Evo chamber, so we are just going to play those Roaches again. I wonder if Serral really sticks to that or if he has something else planned, because missile upgrade does sort of suggest you're not going to play like Ling Bane. So then it's maybe more Roach-centric, which that, then might mean you maybe see more Hydras as well. So then you maybe get into, like, Lurker style, for example, right? That becomes more of a possibility or so. Five Oracles over on the left, as we do see Roach Speed already beginning. We do have our Oracles thinking about what they want to do. 5th base denial is a pretty easy thing to do, but I feel like that's very slow damage, right? Like, sorry, not 5th base. For some reason, I think it's the 5th, but it is just the 4th. There's no base over here. I'm thinking it because there's 5 Oracles. Honestly, I don't know what's going on, but in my mind, a lot of things are getting messed up today. I said the wrong names of tech for the wrong races and all sorts, so I apologize for some sloppy wordplay in my casting, guys. Yeah, 5 Oracles to 9 the 4th. It's the easy pick-off. I don't know how much it really slows Serral down. I am worried about the full-on attack from Serral. 59 drones and just going. The biggest thing here is going. He would need to bring the Queens. And the creep is being denied, so that would be slow progress. +1's about to finish. He's making Lings as well. Like, he's absolutely going for an attack. There's no two ways about that. There's the Queens being pulled in. It has to be, because he's just still not droning. And the problem is, Gerald doesn't realize it. So Gerald's out on the map, as Serral is out on the map. Yeah, Serral actually sees this, so Serral can actually just pull back and fight this. He could continue to send the Queens down the left side, but he might actually need the Queens here to defend the Oracles still, right? Like, that's the whole point of the Queens. They're meant to defend against the Oracles, so he does still kind of need them. Maybe this is actually good for Gerald. He's going to pull Serral away from where he was kind of wanting to fight, which is into the opponent's 3rd base. Serral drops the Hydrogen. I think he realizes his timing is just not going to hit because he's going to get pulled back again. So he drops the Hydrogen instead, and we've got a Serral trying to transition out of the game. Or trying to transition out of his plan. Which he should be able to do. He starts up more drones, but he has been lacking in drones, so Serral's plan not quite going the way he wants to. He's still going to get aggressive here. It's just this time, or now, he has a bit more of a backup plan behind it. Oracles don't want to activate their energy unless they really have to, because every time you activate, it costs energy. Activates now, and obviously Serral's just going to run back to the Queens, and oh, an Oracle goes straight into the Queens. Wasn't maybe expecting those to be there. Stalker's Durban on the right side. 3 kills for Serral. Serral's not the player you want to be giving free kills to. Oh, the Disruptor does major damage. Serral kind of split initially, but he didn't resplit. One robo goes down. The next robo behind it only just started a Disruptor, so it's a while until we get that splash damage back up. And honestly, I think the reality is that robo is going down. The Queens are just fighting Stalkers in the background. And the thing is, the Oracles just don't have any energy to really join in the fight anymore. They're kind of around the back. A couple of them activate, but then they're trying to fight the Queens. I think he knows if he gets the Queens, he can win the game, but it's just not happening. GG's called, and Serral takes a game number 2, moving through to the semifinals, where we'll watch even more Serral ZvP as he takes